NFC South doesn't get any respect, and I understandably so.
Yeah.
But this is the year the Bucs have to, grab the division and just grab it by the throat and annihilate the division and make sure that no stone is unturned and that this team is ready to go and be respected by the rest of the league. And the way they can go about that, I mean, it'd be crazy if they went 3-0 in these primetime games heading into the Thursday night game against Atlanta. But they can get an early win against Houston. So everyone's thinking, oh, all right, the Bucs, nice win. But then there'll be some people that are like, oh, well, the Texans don't have all their receivers and blah, blah, blah. But if they can if they beat Houston and can split with Detroit and with LA, I think that will just bring echoes of how good this team can be. Because, I mean, we saw them lose in primetime to a lowly Cowboys team. Yeah. So maybe they just play bad against bad teams in primetime and they can go and defeat the best teams in primetime. And I know it didn't work with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens last year. But I like that they're playing the best of the best really in primetime. I mean, outside of that Bills game, these are all games that everybody is going to be watching. I'm also a little surprised Bucs-Bills. I mean, I don't know the rest of the schedule that week in the NFL. But Bucs-Bills seems like that would be, if it is going to be a regular Sunday game, make that like a 4:00 game with two pretty good teams. But again, it depends on who else is playing.
Matt, you mentioned earlier, Hassan Reddick, right?
Yeah.
And as Steven Stansfield points out here, Hassan Reddick is going to be playing both of the teams that he has played in most recently. Matter of fact, Hassan Reddick, you look at the schedule. Every team he's ever played for, you're exactly right. The Cardinals are on there. They drafted him. He played 1 year for the Panthers. They're on there twice. But then right off the back in back-to-back games, the Jets and the Eagles. Is this kind of a revenge game?
It has to be
for Hassan Reddick for both of those games because the Jets didn't give him the money that he wanted. And really neither did the Eagles. They traded him to the Jets because they didn't give him the money, right? So I think you're going to see a very motivated Hassan Reddick here in the first two games of, the back-to-back games.
First month of the season, yeah.
First month of the season, right?
No, for sure. I mean, look what Larry Foote said literally yesterday. He's pissed off. He wants to prove that he's one of the best pass rushers in the league. He's got a chip on his shoulder. And he has every right to be angry with both teams. I mean, the Eagles, no offense to Hassan Reddick, but they were kind of right. They're like, we don't want to pay you. We can kind of get away with it.
Yeah.
And they did. I mean, they won the Super Bowl.
That's right.
And if you're Hassan Reddick, you got to be seething. The fact they traded you after almost winning a Super Bowl, and then they win the Super Bowl a year later, that's got to be absolutely aggravating. And then everything that went on with the Jets last year, sitting out of training camp, not playing until the last week of October, only getting one sack, a terrible team, a team in disarray. I mean, part of him's got to be like, thank God I got out of there. I'm in a much better situation. But it will be interesting because, as you mentioned, Todd Bowles is undefeated as the Bucs head coach in the start of the regular season in the first week of the season. They've also started out 2-0 the past couple of years and then stubbed their toe in week 3.
I know.
I'm not saying that the Jets are going to be formidable or anything, but let's remember, we were all like, oh my goodness, the Bucs beat the Lions in week 2. Now they're going to absolutely stomp on the Denver Broncos.
That didn't happen.
And that did not happen. Now, I'm not saying watch out for the New York Jets. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that it's any given Sunday. The Bucs can't expect to beat anybody. And this is also a Jets team where we don't really know what's going on at the moment.
It's right.
A new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new GM, and new quarterback with Justin Fields. Now, what's funny is the last time Justin Fields
Matt, let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. You just made some fantastic points. And I'm not saying that the Jets can be or will be the Washington Commanders, right? And they caught the Commanders early, right? But look what the Commanders turned into.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to stop you there because I think your point was spot on. We just don't know. And sometimes, there's always a Cinderella story. There's always a team that just comes out of nowhere. Last year was obviously the Commanders. They got their act together after the week 1 loss at Tampa and really didn't look back. But that's a great point. You also mentioned their new quarterback up there in New York.
Yeah, exactly. So the last time Justin Fields, I believe, played against the Bucs was when Shaq Barrett had the pick 6 against the Bears a couple seasons ago in 2023. But my point being is that I don't know how much we can take from what the Jets did last year because Justin Fields is in his first year with the Jets. He's actually reunited with Garrett Wilson, who they played together at Ohio State. So for the Bucs, just don't get into a Broncos situation once again. Because also, the Jets start their season, they play against the Steelers, which could be their own revenge game, Jets against Aaron Rodgers if he goes against the Steelers. And then I believe they play the Bills in week 2. So you're looking at a Jets team that could be 0-2 and desperate going into week 3. I believe they have 2 home games as well. A desperate team coming into Tampa with the Bucs, hopefully 2-0, but at least feeling better about their overall outlook. And then I also look at teams like the Cardinals, where they were pretty bad last year.
Yeah.
But if they figure it out, I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr. going into year 2, Kyler Murray can be great, but it also look ridiculous at times. If the Cardinals figure it out and put it together, well, then that makes coming out of the bye that much more difficult. Because I don't know what to make of the Patriots, but now with Mike Vrabel, who's an established head coach, Drake May didn't look too bad as a rookie. Obviously, we know Buffalo and LA, but if the Cardinals become a contender in their own division in the NFC West,
and it's always kind of tight out there too, you know,
that makes Bills, Rams, Cardinals a little bit more of a tough tunnel to go through.
Yeah.
Obviously, that last month is still
I think you're right.
kind of easy.
I think you're right.